The Escapists is a top-down prison escape simulator published by Team 17, who you might know for another game series, Worms. The Escapist was released for Steam Early Access on July 9th, 2014. The concept of a game where you escape a prison had been no new idea, as many games with a similar vibe came out years prior, but The Escapist was by far the biggest and most polished one to that point. You spend your days as an inmate avoiding prison guards, talking with other prisoners, and planning your great escape. There's a vast amount of content ranging from the 6 main prisons, 7 if you include the tutorial, the multitude of DLC maps, and the player-made prisons, made with the built-in map editor. This video will serve as a documentary of my experiences playing through the game and becoming a master escape artist. So, let's begin. Before we truly start, I'd like to preface that I'm not going into this game totally blind. I first watched Jacksepticeye play through the game a staggering 8 years ago. While I did watch that series, it was so long ago it's to the point that I've forgotten almost all of the content, so while it's not a complete blind playthrough, it's about as close as you can get. I start off my day by waking up and then...
Dear Wisp, welcome to Centerpucks, the most comfortable low-security prison in the county. On behalf of all the staff here, we wish you a happy and relaxing visit. Should you get bored of the complimentary cable TV, we pride ourselves in many other engaging activities around the grounds. Warden Alberto Valero.
I actually start my day off by checking my cell's desk, where I grab a shiv and slam it into the wall to make my first weapon, the comb shiv. Soon after that, I head over to morning roll call, where you see who gets their cell searched, luckily not being me. I then head to breakfast, which lowers my tiredness meter as seen in the top left along with my money, HP, and heat from the cops. Think of it as stars in GTA. By the way, if you see items in my inventory or desk in this video I haven't explained, they either aren't important to my escape or will be explained later. Anyway, I grab a few plastic knives to make use of later, and then head over to other inmates' desks, where I do a wee bit of robbery, witness a murder, and then browse Twitter until lunch, where I shockingly witness another murder. Thankfully, this guy has a file, which we'll also make use of later. After stashing the file back near my desk, I go and do my daily job to make money, in this case as a laundryman. Near the end, I use an exploit where I get as close to the contraband sensor as possible, and pick up a guard's uniform from it. As I put the outfit in my desk, some idiot just waltzes into my cell. So I, like any respectable inmate, kick the absolute shit out of him, strip him naked, and flush his clothes down the toilet. Before going back to Twitter until our exercise period, where I get those gains. After exercising comes the shower period, where a man has literally dropped the soap, and then I head to dinner before going for our first day escape. A lot of things will be cut out of this video, such as tedious grinding or searching for certain items, but anything important will be explained, as well as long cuts. Anyway, since I'm not present for the evening roll call, I have 100 seconds to make my escape, which should thankfully be more than enough unless... Oh fuck, oh fuck, fuck! After a quick reset and actually putting on that guard outfit from earlier, I successfully use my file and plastic knives to cut through the prison fence and walk straight out to freedom and taking a last look at a guard before I leave. I soon wake up again in Stalag Flucht, where...
Sent me another one, have they? Listen, Wisp, I don't have to remind you that Stalag Flucht is famous for housing inmates with a record of escapism, so if you're planning on getting out of this one, think again. Now get yourself settled in, it's gonna be a cold, long winter. Warden Paul Soares Jr.
After ignoring morning roll call and breakfast, I immediately go to read acoustic Twitter, so that I can increase my intelligence stat, which allows me to craft more complicated items. When I head back to my cell after grabbing some useful loot from other desks, I craft our very first useful item, a wad of putty, made of talcum powder and toothpaste. This wad of putty allows me to... Did an inmate just knock out a guard?! As I was saying, Putty allows me to duplicate colored keys that the guards hold, so I fumble around out of shock and eventually make a mold of the green key. After an uneventful next day, I mean to flush some items down the toilet, but I accidentally click on my cellmate's desk, prompting him to start immediately fighting me. So I knock him out, cover him with desks, and call it a night. Later on, I find the yellow key that unlocks my cell and make a copy using the key mold and molten plastic, made with a lighter and a plastic comb. I then make a pair of flimsy wire cutters, which I soon upgrade to lightweight by using a file and duct tape. I had to roll call before making my... Wait, he said wisp, didn't he? Before attempting an escape, I head to my cell and throw out all my useless contraband, highlighted in red, items, put on my guard outfit, grab all my keys and my trusty wire cutter and head over to the generator, which powers the electric fence. After shutting down the generator, I quickly make use of my wire cutters and waltz straight out. After I wait...
Welcome to Shankton State Pen, your new home for the foreseeable future. Since I've been warden, we've had a few daring escapists among us, but they were promptly scooped back up and punished. No one escapes on my watch, so don't get any ideas. If you forget any of the rules around here, the guards' batons will be only too glad to remind you. Warden Chinsworth.
Stop cutting me off!
Anyway, as I head to breakfast, I notice tons of contraband sensors before the entrance of each room. After 2 uneventful days of grinding my stats and getting a few items, I grab an electric screwdriver from my desk and unscrew the vent in my cell, leaving all my contraband in an area where the guards won't find it even if there's a roll call. Since I found an orange key, I can go into the orange locked doors that you see that have prisoner stashes inside of them holding cool items, like this contraband pouch or this cell key. I soon head into the vents, craft a bunch of items that'll be needed for my escape, and start cutting through some of the slats found in the vents. Through one of them is another prisoner stash, which is pretty useless, and a ladder too, and I've been shot. I head back down until night, where I switch into my guard outfit, grab all the items I might potentially need, and then fumble around on the roof of the prison for like 5 minutes because I'm an idiot and couldn't figure out how to use rope. I then switch gears and grab a shovel, some keys, my wire cutters, and finally head outside to the generator, where I turn it off and then I kinda just walk around? I literally don't know what was going on through my head, but I ended up returning to my cell until the following night, where I head back over to the generator, past the red door, and then I start digging a tunnel. Tunnels in this game are a nightmare, as you have to drop dirt every tile you mine, and then I stumble across a rock, which, thank the Lord, my shovel is strong enough to break, and then dig back up to the surface and take my victory. This is where Escapist takes a very sharp turn. The amount of time it took me to beat the 4th prison is a little bit longer than the first 3 combined, meaning it gets much harder and much more grindy. While the amount of work for me has become exponentially more, I'll still cut down the vast majority of footage and try to keep things fast-paced and interesting. And this time I know what's coming, so...
Welcome to the jungle. Society has declared you a menace, so we've put you far away from any trace of it. Before you even entertain the thought of escaping, let me remind you that even if by some remote chance you make it past the fence, the wall, the perimeter jeeps, and the guard checkpoint, there's no surviving in the wild beyond. Warden Jofflamp.
Fuck's sake!
As you can see, the jungle prison features a generator, which shouldn't be a surprise anymore, and like the warden mentioned, a jeep patrolling. He also mentioned that we need ID papers to get past the checkpoint, which you can see we just bought the first of 3 ingredients for here, the exotic feather. A few more days and some grinding later, I start making items that'll help with our escape. Or I try to at least. I think I once again had my brain shut down, proven further by me getting the shit kicked out of me by my cellmate, leading to another reload. An inmate sells me a crowbar, which is essential as it's a key component to creating a pickaxe for rocks and walls. I beat up a guard and make yet another copy of his key, and a few more I didn't show. During my job as a laundryman, I instead head over to the librarian's area and beat him up until he gets fired, allowing me to steal the job. The next morning, I craft some key items, first a shovel, and then a durable contraband pouch. If you haven't already guessed, the contraband pouch allows you to pass through these contraband detectors without them freaking out and alerting an 800-kilometer area around you. After stealing and making another fake of the orange key, I grab my pickaxe, contraband pouch, and a fake wall block. I head over to my work area and walk through the locked orange door, break through the wall, and get to an unlimited box of metal and wood, as well as a prisoner stash containing another wall block. Ooh. When I get back to my cell, I try to make a multi-tool, fail, go read some Twitter, and then go back and make it for real. The multi-tool is the best tool in this game for digging and mining, having 5 out of 5 for both stats. And let's speed this up. I sat here for like 5 minutes just thinking, what the fuck was happening? That night, I go back to my hole I made, along with a jar of ink, exotic feather, my contraband pouch and multi-tool, and some keys. While I'm digging, I might as well mention, remember how the warden said there's a jeep? So, what I didn't show was I had one previous uneventful escape attempt, where I climbed out of the hole I dug, and the jeep immediately saw me and sent me to solitary. This time, on the other hand, the jeep noise is going on non-stop. But for some reason, the jeep itself never actually appears. So after a while, I end up going fuck it and digging out. After that, I head over to the top where some unsigned ID papers lie, so I of course sign them and then head down to the guard checkpoint, all the while never seeing the jeep, hand in my papers, and walk out.
This is the notorious Sam Poncho, the roughest, toughest, and downright nastiest prison south of the border. The blistering heat and claustrophobic conditions here turns our inmates angry and violent. Even the guards daren't enter. Warden Davis.
Bro, be fucking for real!
For this and the last prison, I looked at a screenshot of the whole map before playing, which thank god I did. There's this room above the tailor job that's only accessible if you break a wall, meaning guards will never search there and it's perfect for hiding contraband and digging holes. As I head to morning roll call, I notice that everyone A, really hates me, and B, is really strong, so training strength and speed is pretty much pointless. I beat up the tailor and have him chase me so I can take his job, then I grab some forks to break through the wall I mentioned. A big time skip later, I've dug a few blocks underground to an electric fence that's visible above ground but also apparently goes underground, unlike the previous prisons. I craft some items like a shovel and pickaxe, and then I go to try and find the generator. I put on my guard outfit so I don't instantly get shot, and then snoop around up top, where I don't find it. The next clip I'm going to play almost in its entirety, because this was disgustingly tedious. I would wake up, grab my guard outfit, run to my hole, grab my pickaxe, run past roll call but close enough so it doesn't go into lockdown, run into another group of inmate cells, break through the wall, and grab the 2 prisoner stashes, one in the wall and one on the roof. The issue is, prisoner stashes change what they give you every time you reset, so I spent about an hour and a half repeating this process over and over just to get a red staff key, because it was considerably easier than trying to find the right guard and hope he comes inside, since most of them patrol outside in between the jeep and the inner inmate area. I eventually get it and wait for night when I go back up to the roof, cut through the fence, and as fast as I can, turn off the generator, rope climb back down to the ground, run to my tunnel, and cut the electric fence before the generator powers back on, allowing me to make further progress. The next morning, I end up skipping roll call so I can run to the building outside the main compound, craft a bunch of braces, and run back to my desk. These braces are vital since I have to dig really far and I have to be underground the whole time, because of these motherfuckers, the mines. I continue mining, upgrading my tools, and throwing away handfuls of dirt in the toilets before attempting my great escape. I put down my bed dummy, grab my guard outfit, and run to my tunnel. I wait until I hear the jeep go by, and then finally dig my way up to the surface, and...
Ah! Oh my fucking god! I had a fucking heart attack, I've never been so scared.
Anyway, one quick reset later, I dig back up, drop down some spikes for the jeep to hit, and mine my way through the front barrier, walking straight out into freedom. Bro, I'm not even gonna
Listen here, maggot. You know why you're here, so no point crying about it. Generally feared as the highest security prison ever, HMP Irongate is where you'll live out the rest of your meaningless existence. Escape, you say? Don't make me laugh. The handful of idiots who tried met a watery demise trying to swim off the island. Still, chin up, eh? Warden Dean Hall.
The guards in HMP Irongate have stun batons, meaning the only way to down them is to use a cup of molten chocolate, which downs them instantly since the stun batons insta-kill you. The majority of the time in this prison is spent robbing other inmates or reading Twitter. To escape here, you need a raft made of rope, a raft base, and a sail. I buy a piece of balsa wood for a raft, and then make the sail since it's the easiest piece to make. I quickly end up finding 2 more inmates selling the rope we need, and then our last piece of balsa wood. After making the raft, the last thing I'll need to get out is a red key, so it's time for a lot more resetting. I make hot chocolate and down guards over and over and over until I finally get a red key, craft a fake, and then our escape attempts begin. My first one goes poorly as I put on the guard outfit and head outside past the fence, and after seeing the snipers go home for the night, I head back down to the white door and start digging. Holy shit, that scared me. After digging some more, I go down in my tunnel, cover up the hole above me, and realize I can't dig anymore because I don't have a brace. Another reset later, I go outside, struggle to put on my guard outfit, and...
Oh my god, he took my raft, are you for real?
Alright, finally. I have all the items I need and check for the snipers, and then start digging. I put down my brace and...
Oh my god!
This time I put on my outfit in my cell. Since I'm bringing 2 shovels, I duck and weave past the guards inside and begin my plan from before. Check the sniper, start digging. I also drop the dirt off just randomly up top, which, thinking back, had a really good chance of getting caught, but whatever. I dig up, cover my hole, and head to the water so I can... Huh? Whoa, hold on, there's a dock, that's gotta work.
Let's go!
Now that I'm done with the main prisons, I'll show you some of the extra content of the game, such as the custom prisons. I chose some easy custom prisons, so I wouldn't have nearly as hard of a time getting out of these as I did the real prisons. I go to roll call and immediately get screamed at, and then I head to breakfast so I can start planning my escape, and... Wait a sec, I'm already outside? Whoa, hold on, wait a sec. And I've already escaped. Alright, next prison. I don't know why, but for this one, I wanted to do it as fast as possible, so after snooping around outside, I noticed that you would only need a red key to get past the main fence. To do it as fast as possible, I try to grab a cup, a bar of chocolate, and a lighter to make the hot chocolate from before. Read Twitter to get my intelligence up, and then craft my chocolate and down a guard, all within the first 2 hours-ish. Since there's like 12 guards, I'm basically trying to hit a 1 in 12 chance of getting a red key, and I get it on my second attempt. So I grab the key and sprint out the doors, and right as I'm coming to the fence, I get caught and sent to solitary. These attempts took like an hour and a half of real life time to get all the right items at the start, so getting a good attempt and failing was more than enough for me. Thank you guys very much for watching. This video took a fucking lot of work to make. I had to cut down like 18 hours of footage or something like that, but honestly, I can't say I'm super happy with how this video turned out, but it's a learning experience, so next one should be better. Thank you very much for watching, and if you watched this far, you might as well either sub or like the video, or at least do something. Send a comment in the comment section. Thank you very much, and have a good day.